Hello everyone, in this video I'll be translating and summarizing the latest Urdu broadcast by Moeed Pirzada to make it accessible for our English-speaking audience. Let's go through the key developments and insights in Moeed Pirzada's words.
In Pakistan, once again, there is a sense of danger that in November 2025, India might attempt to impose a war on Pakistan. Why is this threat being felt? I will share many details, speculations and theories related to this issue with you, and also some strange incidents related to Pakistan's internal politics that I have before me. But first, let me say a few words regarding the situation that has arisen since October 7th, 2023. As you all know, Israel claims that in the brutal terrorist attack by Hamas, 1,200 Israelis were killed within 3 days. In response, Israel has, over the past 2 years, reportedly killed around 70,000 people in Gaza, with a large number of children and women among them. Even Israel's image in the West has been flatlined, just as it flattened Gaza with its airstrikes. Israel's image as a victim in the West has been destroyed. The latest situation is that indirect negotiations between Israel and Hamas have started in Egypt, in Sharm el-Sheikh. Sources from Hamas have told AFP, or Agence France-Presse, that the first round of negotiations went well. Right now, as I speak, the second round is scheduled with Egypt, Qatar, Turkey and the United States involved. Now, turning back to Pakistan, where once again there is a feeling that in November India might find a pretext to initiate a war situation against Pakistan. I will share the details of this one by one, but first look at this. Early in the morning, around 7 to 8 a.m., a bomb blast took place on the Jaffa Express in Sindh, where 4 bogies of the train derailed and 7 people were injured. The damage was so severe that the train was sent back to Jacobabad, from where it was headed to Quetta. Attacks on trains travelling to and from Balochistan have become routine, and honestly, it's rare that 2 weeks pass in Pakistan without at least one attack on a train. A major attack occurred in March 2015, when 400 people, including many soldiers of Pakistan's military travelling in civilian clothing, were held hostage. The Pakistani government claims that 33 terrorists of the BLA, or Baloch Liberation Army, were killed and all hostages were freed. But, many sources believe that several hostages lost their lives, and the real facts remain unknown. The division between India and Pakistan has led to various analyses. Many believe the terrorism attack on the Jaffa Express is connected to the terrorist attack in Pahalgam, India in April, where 26 Hindus, mostly pilgrims, were killed in a gruesome manner. Their pants and turbans were removed, and they were killed in front of their families. Worldwide consensus is that Pakistan got the better of it in this attack. Even in Washington, many people with no specific interest in the India-Pakistan situation, including media personnel, think tanks and senior officials, have said that Pakistan emerged victorious from these events. This situation remains difficult for India to accept. Despite the impression in India that they have dealt Pakistan a heavy blow, there remains uncertainty within India's public consciousness about whether Pakistan truly lost. This is, without a doubt, a significant problem for India. The war paused when US President Donald Trump intervened, claiming he saved millions of lives by pressuring Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi to halt Operation Sindoor. The key point is that Modi called for a pause in Operation Sindoor, which means that at any time the pause could end and hostilities could resume. Recently, Indian Army Chief General Upendra Dwivedi issued a statement, which I showed you earlier on Twitter, saying that there will be no restraint if Operation Sindoor 2 occurs. He said that India will not hold back, and if Pakistan messes around, India will take action. The Indian Defence Minister, Rajnath Singh, also echoed similar views, and in response, Pakistan's military spokesperson from Inter-Services Public Relations, or ISPR, issued a strong statement. The spokesperson assured India that if they launch any attack on Pakistan, Pakistan would retaliate even more forcefully. Pakistan warned that India should not feel geographically secure, as they have the capability to strike anywhere from north to south, and that any destruction would lead to mutually assured destruction. In this context, some people in Pakistan are sensing that India might use the Siachen Glacier issue as an excuse to start hostilities in November. I previously analysed this and stated that India's posturing is likely due to domestic political factors, especially Modi's struggles in the Bihar elections. My analysis was that the Indian military leadership was being used for Modi's political needs. However, many people in Pakistan disagree with this perspective. 2 or more serious individuals have shared their views with me, suggesting that India might be planning something, and they are specifically quoting November as the time frame for this. Among these individuals is Zaid Hamid, known for his association with the Ghazwa-e-Hind narrative. Zaid Hamid, often considered unserious by many, has recorded a video where he warns about India's military planning. Despite his reputation, the video reveals serious analysis, and Zaid Hamid argues that India's military chief, General Dwivedi, gave a serious statement. Hamid suggests that India is planning a ground invasion. He also recommended that Pakistan should not wait for an Indian attack, but should invade India first, although the pretext for doing so remains unclear. It seems that India might be preparing for some action related to Siachen, but this remains to be seen. At this stage, it's important to stress that what I am sharing here are not facts, but theories, assessments, opinions, and speculations. The question then arises: if India forces war upon Pakistan, or creates a warlike situation, the answer comes from a Pakistani-origin academic, Professor Akhil Shah, who is an associate professor at George Washington University. In a very interesting article he wrote 2 weeks after the May 2025 conflict, he made the impression that Pakistan emerged better from the conflict. Despite India's conventional military superiority, especially post-1971 Kargil and Siachen, Pakistan's military had effectively challenged India and emerged with renewed confidence. The current ceasefire or pause, like Operation Sindoor, is inherently unstable, and hostilities could flare up again at any time. In his article, Dr. Akhil Shah also noted that India strongly feels that Pakistan has used the nuclear card in every conflict, referring to both the 1999 Kargil conflict and the 2019 situation. He also mentioned that according to Mike Pompeo, there is a belief in India that Pakistan used the nuclear card and blackmailed the Americans into intervention. In this context, the possibility of a nuclear war between India and Pakistan in 2025 seems unlikely, as President Trump has repeatedly stated that he prevented a nuclear war and saved millions of lives by intervening. The situation between China and Pakistan has also evolved since 2025. Many people have speculated about a rift between China and Pakistan, but in May 2025, China proved those speculations wrong by standing with Pakistan when needed. However, there are some factors that suggest a shift, including disagreements over Pakistan's role in applying pressure on the Afghan Taliban, the offer of a new port to the United States, and improving relations between China and India. These factors suggest that China and Pakistan's relationship is not the same as it was in 2025. Returning to the current situation in India, it is crucial to note that there is widespread speculation, posturing, and political maneuvering. Before I discuss Pakistan's Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif's historic visit to Malaysia, let's briefly mention 2 developments related to Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, or PTI. PTI has formally nominated Mahmood Khan Achakzai as the leader of the opposition in the National Assembly, and they have also recommended Raja Nasser Abbas as the leader of the opposition in the Senate. Now, the immediate background of this is that Peshawar and the High Court had issued an order regarding Umar Ayub in the National Assembly, who had been dismissed, and Shibli Faraz, who had been removed from the Senate. The order from Peshawar and the High Court regarding them has now been vacated. This became the formal reason for the change. But I will remind you that it was in August when Imran Khan had nominated Mahmud Khan Achakzai for the National Assembly and recommended him. At that time, this news came out, and the headline in the newspapers was about it. At that time, he also recommended Azam Swati for the Senate. Now, Azam Swati seems to have disappeared, and he has been replaced by Allama Raja Nasir Abbas. Political analysts I spoke to say that Imran Khan has made very intelligent and wise decisions because both of these personalities have very strong political factions of their own. They have their own history, and unlike the leaders of PTI, who are under pressure from angels and unknown individuals, it is very difficult to pressure them. They have a long-standing history in Pakistani politics. Since Peshawar High Court has been mentioned, let me tell you that today a prominent PTI activist, Sanam Javed, was abducted by unknown individuals in Peshawar. It is not common for women to be abducted from the streets in Peshawar. But this abduction is interesting because Sanam Javed's friend, who was with her, reports that 2 vehicles arrived and that it was a high-security area with very important buildings. The abductors dragged Sanam Javed into their car and then drove straight towards the red zone, not towards Afghanistan or Khyber. This shows that the identity and the identity of the abductors are quite clear. This is a situation in which Pakistan's politics are entangled. Sanam Javed, as you know, had been arrested for over a year in connection with the Nines issue. She faced many hardships in jail and was later arrested again. She had taken refuge in Peshawar, and a few days ago her sister, Falk Javed, was also abducted in a similar manner. However, I believe she has been released a day or 2 ago, and after her release, her statement was also made public. Now, this situation has led the official PTI Twitter handle to directly accuse General Asim Munir's team and his establishment of being behind these actions. Sheikh Waqas Akram, who is the Secretary of Information for PTI, also tweeted about it in Urdu. However, the tragic and absurd situation is that many PTI workers believe this is a staged drama, and the branding of both sisters, Falk Javed and Sanam Javed, is being attempted. This controversy has been ongoing for a while. If you look at Sheikh Waqas Akram's tweet, you will see PTI supporters below it who believe that this is not a serious issue, but a game being played here. However, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa's Chief Minister, Ali Amin Gandapur, tweeted a very strong message saying that those involved in the abduction will not be spared, and strict action will be taken against them. But there is suspicion among others that since the unknown individuals who are involved in abductions are under the control of Ali Amin Gandapur, perhaps he is just issuing statements and nothing will happen against them. Now, the abduction of women and girls was once a major theme in Hollywood movies, and there were many films that featured this, where women were abducted from the streets. Later, similar scenes appeared in Bollywood as well. But now, both Hollywood and Bollywood have moved on from this primitive mindset. We hope that the abductors in Pakistan also graduate from this position and stop abducting women and girls from the streets, a practice that is bringing shame to Pakistan internationally. It is no longer making any sense, and there are many people who are likely to say that those arrested are connected to the Nines issue or are linked to Pika. Otherwise, this situation does not make sense. This is a well-managed and well-governed country, and its Prime Minister, Shahbaz Sharif, is on a historic visit to Malaysia. During this visit, Shahbaz Sharif made an attempt to take revenge in the spirit of the poet of the East, Allama Iqbal. While Shahbaz Sharif holds the distinction of being Pakistan's first Prime Minister who saw the Punjab police enter the home of Allama Iqbal during his tenure in May 2022, this time he went straight for Allama Iqbal and attacked his poetry. The lines of Allama Iqbal, which we used to memorize in school for speeches, were altered by Shahbaz Sharif. He made them half in English, half in Urdu, and delivered them in a confusing manner. If you watch the video, you'll see that Malaysian Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim is standing there thinking, "What kind of mess have I gotten myself into? Who did I invite here?" However, shortly after, it was revealed that Malaysia's International Islamic University awarded Shahbaz Sharif a PhD and a doctorate degree. Now, you may wonder why he received this. Not for comedy shows, but for governance. The degree was awarded to him for good governance, and this is the man whose leadership was recognized for it. Meanwhile, Pakistan's federal government has dispatched instructions to its provincial governments to resolve all pending issues this week because of Pakistan's ongoing review with the IMF. Pakistan's economic figures have been questioned. According to the IMF, the growth forecast for Pakistan's GDP for 2024, which had been predicted at minus 0.21%, has now fallen to minus 1%. Similarly, the growth forecast for 2025, which was initially expected to be 2.68%, is now reduced to only 1%. These are the figures, and despite this, the country is being hailed for its governance. This is the Prime Minister who was awarded a PhD in good governance by Malaysia's university. The Muslim world is witnessing strange situations in this regard.
That wraps up our translation of Moeed Pirzada's video. I hope this English version helped you understand his message better. Please like, share, and subscribe to Awami Lens to help our community grow. Don't forget to leave a comment below and let me know what you thought of this effort.